The Fargo Five, welcome to the city of frost and fire. You are going to discover the authentic stories of the extraordinary people that define our north of normal metro. I am Conrad Fargo, and this is the Fargo Five. I'm really excited for today's episode. We have Penny McLagan, who is the manager over at Lil Bits. Hello, Penny.
Hello.
Oh, why don't we get right up on top of that microphone? We want to be just eating it. We want to be as close as you can without kissing it. There you go. Try that again.
How's that? Hello, everybody.
Perfect. Hello, Penny. So I was really excited. I felt like this was kind of a get to have you on the show because Lil Bits is my favorite pumpkin patch. I take my kids. I've got a 5-year-old, a 3-year-old, and a newborn. I've taken my 5-year-old there maybe, 3 or 4 times, 3 or 4 years in a row. So Thank you so much for coming on the show.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
So we'll dive right into it. I'm sure we're all excited to know, where does Lil Bits come from? What's the origin story? How did that even start?
So this is our 20th year.
Oh, wow.
And it started out, so Lil Bits, the name comes from my cousin. Her name is Elizabeth. She started it. This was her idea. And
Back in like 2004?
Yeah, 20 years ago.
Okay, so your cousin.
Yes.
Okay, she started it.
Yep, so she started it. And it was just the pumpkin patch then. And so they have Clydesdale horses out on the farm. So they've had those for years, and they were trying to figure out what to do with the Clydesdales. So she said, let's do a pumpkin patch. And when it first started, it was just taking the wagon, taking everybody out to the pumpkin field, letting them pick their pumpkin and bringing them back.
And so, do you grow pumpkins out there, or did you? I saw something on X the other day. It was like, you guys don't realize this, but all the pumpkin patches, they're just buying them at Aldi and throwing them in a muddy field. Is that what's going on, or do you guys really grow them there? Is this?
So this is all family. So we have a pumpkin field out there, so we grow some of our own pumpkins. My brother manages it with me, and he grows some pumpkins out at his farm. My uncle and aunt own the farm, and my uncle has a cousin who grows pumpkins out west of here.
So pumpkins are like in the family, and how long does that go back to?
That I'm not real sure.
Okay, so I mean longer than even you know. So you grew up with pumpkins?
No, my brother and I have been managing for probably the last 4 years.
But managing Lil Bits.
Lil Bits, yeah.
But I want to know, so Lil Bits, I understand, you've got a pumpkin patch, and you say, hey, let's start a thing, let's make some money with this thing, and back in 2004, your cousin puts it together and does Lil Bits. But before then, you already had the pumpkin patch, right? And it's a part of your family, or?
We had it's a farm, and it was more about the Clydesdales. So we have the Clydesdales. And we're trying to figure out, gave wagon rides and sleigh rides and stuff like that. So they were trying to figure out something. Do we keep the horses, or do we, find something to do with them?
So it starts with the horses.
It starts with the horses.
So you guys have always had farms in your family.
The Hoagland family.
Oh,
yes.
Okay.
So my uncle, actually, the farm that he's on, this land was homesteaded.
Okay.
So his family has been on this land for 150 plus years.
Wow. And then that's in your blood. That's where you
My aunt is married into it.
Okay. Your aunt married into it. Okay.
Yes.
So what was your upbringing? Where were you raised
City girl.
You're city girl of Fargo, North Dakota, or of the cities?
So I was born in Fargo.
Okay.
And I grew up out west, so out in Bismarck area.
Yeah.
And came back.
Okay.
Went to NDSU.
Sure.
So, Bison.
So when you say city, you mean Bismarck and Fargo?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I think people from the cities wouldn't consider us a city.
Right.
So it's interesting there.
When we look at the farm, it's considered a city girl.
Yeah, compared to being rural or even out western North Dakota. So you kind of moved to western, came back, and then married into a family that had the Clydesdales.
My aunt did.
Okay, your aunt did.
Yeah.
But how did that circle around to you? When was it? When did it become a part of your life and your lifestyle? Back in 2004, or this was something?
We've always gone. With my family, with my husband and I have always taken our children and gone. But 4 years ago, my aunt and uncle were kind of looking to step back a little bit. It's a lot of work to set it up and grow the pumpkins and do everything. So
you were a customer first.
Correct.
Okay, but I'm sure you got free entry because it was a family deal, or no?
So it's all family. I mean, when you go there, my brother and I, my sister-in-law, my nieces,
Yeah.
my nephew, my kids, my husband.
Everybody there is family.
Yeah, my mom,
That's
some aunts.
that's amazing.
My uncle drives the horses.
And so, did you start as management, or you started by maybe just helping out? Because you said it's all family. So when did you start managing, or how
My
did that?
brother and I helped out off and on, but about 4 years ago is when my aunt and uncle looked to maybe step back a little bit and bring in my brother and I to come and help.
And so they brought you in. They showed you the ropes. What were you doing
Yeah.
at the time? What is it that you left behind in order to be? I mean, this isn't a full-time job though either, is it?
No,
You probably
this is more of a side gig. I have a day job.
And what is that?
I'm a corporate controller for.
Okay. Yeah, accounting. That's what you were saying that before.
Right.
Okay. And my wife is a bookkeeper, so it's similar but not the same. I'm sure. Do you spend all day in QuickBooks, or what's your day job like?
Well, I commute to Fergus for 3 days a week, but work with it's an ERP system that we work in, and
Okay. What is that? I don't even. What's ERP?
it's just enterprise. It's just a system. It's called D365.
Oh, okay. So they've got their own. So when you get into like a big corporation, you don't use QuickBooks anymore.
No, not if you can help it.
Okay. QuickBooks is maybe considered the bottom tier.
Yeah,
I
we
didn't know
have
anything.
multiple companies, so
Okay.
consolidating those.
Very good. And then, so your aunt and uncle were like, we're sick of running little bits. We do it year after year. We've been doing it for 20 years. So they were doing it before Facebook was even
It's
a
a lot
thing.
of work.
I mean, and so they handed it over to you. How many hours a week are you putting in running that thing?
My brother is putting in far more than I am.
Okay.
It's Friday afternoon, all day Saturday, all day Sunday, and then off and on during the week.
When you say managing,
needed.
are you there hands-on? You're the one who's doing it, and you're the one making it all happen?
It's a team thing. I
Yeah.
mean, the whole family jumps in there, and
But what does it mean to manage, I guess? What is that? Like, what's your is there a typical day? Like, what's it look? I want to know, if I was you, if I was living your life, if I was to wake up in your shoes and be, I'm going to be the manager of Little Bits now, what
so
would that?
it's a little bit of everything. I mean,
Yeah.
when we first start out, we start setting it up in August, and so
wow.
it's a working farm. So the horses are there, and so we have to get it ready and get it, get the pens, cleaned up, and
Yeah.
we have the petting zoo, so we have to get
Oh,
the
wow.
petting zoo set up, and those animals come from different farms, and they visit for the.
So you don't own
like-
all of the parts. You're kind of bringing all those disparate parts together and managing that.
Yep, and then we have to set up all of the decorate. We have to decorate. We have to set up all of the equipment and the games.
And I imagine you're in charge of the books of the place. Are you the one running the numbers, or no? Since you have
Not
that accounting
necessarily.
background. Oh, okay. It's not all jammed into QuickBooks by you. So who's running it? I'm curious about that.
My aunt and uncle are still involved,
Okay, because they own
But-
it.
right,
They just
right.
have you as the manager.
so we're still.
Very, very good. Well, that is all the time for management that we have. We are going to take a quick break, and when we come back, I want to know all about what it's actually like being at Lil Bits and everything about it. So we're going to go take a break, and we'll come right back with Fargo Fun. So don't go nowhere.